Where are you from?
China. Are you Oh, okay.
This is she, right?
Yeah, like showing your appreciation to another human being. Also could be interpreted as showing affection, showing love.
She.
It's like a heart, it's like I love you.
Yeah, it's so cute. I love your culture.
Yeah, thank you. I want to guess your occupation.
Go ahead.
You look like an artist. You look like a tattoo artist.
I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm in school.
Psychology major.
No.
Econ.
No.
Art history.
No.
Women studies.
No.
Accounting.
No.
Finance.
No.
Shit, what else is there? What do you study?
Medical.
Oh, sheesh. Damn.
Yeah.
You doctor?
Not yet.
That's crazy because me Asian, me no doctor. You doctor. Are you Muslim?
Yeah, I am.
That's fire.
You're not, right?
I'm not, but I respect though.
Oh, thank you.
I think you guys have very good family structure.
Thank you.
Like you guys hold the traditional value, which is like what we're lacking 2025.
I agree. We definitely need to spread that more.
Yeah. America is very soulless country. Just like, consumerism, like the Instagram culture is kind of like, faithless.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But I'm Arab. Like I was born and raised in America, but I'm Middle Eastern. Like, I speak Arabic. Technically, I'm American.
Yeah. Assimilated.
What do you know about American culture?
I know a lot. I know there's like, constant racism situation, back then when 9/11 happened. Have you ever experienced like racism and shit like growing up?
Surprisingly, only once in my life.
Oh, once?
Yeah.
Probably because you are a girl and you kind of like cute looking, like innocent looking.
So a lot of people that are born here don't really wear the scarf so young. They kind of wear it a little later. But I decided to wear it. 2 years ago, I put on the hijab, the headscarf. So before that, not really. Because a lot of people thought I was more Hispanic than Arab.
I got it. Because you're kind of white looking.
Yeah. But when I worked recently, this happened maybe a couple months ago, where this lady came up to me. She asked me what was that on my head. And I told her it was a hijab. And she's like, what does that mean? I was like, it means I'm Muslim. And she's like, this is not a Muslim country. I was like, it's a free country. Then she said something else. But that was the first time that happened. I just kind of walked away from her.
Let me guess. It was like a 50, 60-year-old Karen, white Karen.
Yes.
Very typical. Very typical.
Exactly what she was. She's out of nowhere. Just said that.
Yeah. I mean, of course she knows what it means. Like, she just kind of like looking for trouble.
Of course she knows.
Yeah. She's like, oh, acting curious and shit. Excuse me. What's up, man? What is that? Bro, you know what it is. It's a fucking hijab. Like, you're not retarded. Come on.
Like, I don't get offended when people have questions, but it's the way that she was saying it in a way that's like negative.
Oh, she's definitely picking on you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you're a girl, and then you kind of like, your facial feature is kind of like European, white, Hispanic looking. Yeah, you probably don't experience that much of racism or like, getting picked on. But I would imagine if it's a boy who's like very Middle Eastern looking, and during the 9/11 era, like that time growing up in school, probably get called terrorist like a lot of times.
No, I think definitely around when 9/11 happened, I think it was hard for a lot of Muslims, especially if you wore the hijab. Like a lot of them were scared to go outside,
Right.
but I didn't experience that, thankfully. I don't know. I feel like the people my age just didn't really care about like racism.
Right.
I don't know. Gen Z, I just don't take that from Gen Z. I don't think they're really racist.
True. It's like the older generations are like...
Yeah, I agree. I don't think our generation really cares too much.
So being a Muslim, do your parents gonna do the arranged marriage thing?
No, a lot of Muslim parents do that. Maybe not Muslim, I'd say Arab. It's more culture and religion. But my parents are not like that, thankfully.
So you're gonna have the freedom to find your own future husband?
Yeah, if I find somebody that I feel like is good, I would tell my mom. Then, introduce the parents.
Do they have to be Muslim as well?
They have to be Muslim, yeah.
Have to.
It doesn't matter what race they are, but they just have to be Muslim.
So like, let's say Kai Cenat, like you brought Kai Cenat home. You like, this is my boyfriend. He's black, but he's not Muslim. What if he convert for you?
If he converts, I'd want him to convert for like the reasons of him wanting to do it. Not for my sake, but more God's sake.
Okay, so if he full-heartedly convert, then the marriage could be accepted.
Yeah, Muslim men can marry whatever, but Muslim women have to marry a Muslim man.
Oh, interesting. So that kind of puts like Muslim men in the advantage. Isn't in Muslim culture like men could have multiple wives? How does that work?
Yes, so if I were to marry somebody that had the qualities that I want, I would make it very clear from the beginning that if they did want to get a second wife, that I would be able to leave them. Because that's something like, I still have a say. Their first wife, and she does not want a second wife for her husband, then he has to respect that,
Oh.
But why God allowed men to have 4 wives was more so like 1400 years ago. At the time, a lot of the men would go to wars, and sometimes like the wives, husbands would pass away, so there would be a lot of widows and divorcees. So in Islam, God allowed the man to take multiple wives so that he could provide for them and take care of them. Now I know sometimes now a lot of men hear that and take that and they're like, I can marry however many I want. But in Islam, if you did decide to take on 1, 2, 3, or 4 wives, you have to equally provide for them and equally treat them the same. Like if you bought this one $1 million house, you have to buy that one $1 million house. You can't, be unbalanced. It has to be the same.
Oh, because I thought like being Muslim is like mandatory. Like you guys gonna assume it's okay to have multiple wives. It's kind of up to the husband. Oh, okay.
No.
So that's no different than any other religions or any other people. Because like if both the husband and the wife agree to a second wife, then of course. So
yeah, like a lot of people, I just spoke to somebody and he was telling me about how he has an open relationship with his girlfriend. So they both sleep around. With Islam though, if I didn't want my husband to get a second wife, he is not allowed to. And if he did, then I would just leave him. And I'm allowed to leave him.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's gotta be up to the individual. If you're not happy with it, then why put up with it?
Yeah. A lot of times men, they get super excited. They're like, I can have 4 wives.
No, yeah, low key though, like, cause like the reason I ask is because I'm like, oh shit, like sounds kind of good for men.
A lot of men take it and run with it, but don't know the deeper reasoning behind it. Like there's in a scenario, I'm sure this is happening somewhere in the world, where a man has a first wife and a second wife, and he treats maybe the second wife way better than the first, or the first way better than the second. This is not right. And in Islam, like he's sinning for that. You're not supposed to do that. You have to treat them equally.
That's fair.
And
That's
half the
fair.
time, I feel like it's more stressful on a man to have more than one wife.
True. Like I would imagine, right? If I have 4 wives, if I buy one of Birkins, then I have to buy 4. So like the cost is like 4 times more.
Yeah.
Each purchase, each present I want to give my wife, that's like times 4. So 4 times the cost. So basically, if you want the perks, you also have to pay for it.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I haven't seen in this generation, at least, a man having multiple wives. I feel like it's more so like, that when they're older. I mean, if somebody wants to do it now, I guess. But like from what I've seen, I don't see it happening often.
So yeah, that's the cultural progression as well, right? Back then, some women really need the providing. But nowadays, women like you could become doctors and have your own income. And if you can be financially stable, then you don't have to put up with the unfair, all that bullshit.
Like a lot of women now are realizing that they can stand on their own 2 feet. A lot of girls sometimes, maybe if they don't work or don't really have anything to fall back to, they would accept certain things because they don't have another choice. But that's why I always recommend for women to, go to school and get something, even if they don't use it. Like for example, me, if I got married and I had a baby, I would stop working because I want to raise my baby. But I would still have the thing to fall back to.
A degree makes sense. It's like a safety net, puts you in a better position where you could decide to walk away and you'll be fine.
I always recommend, just staying in school, even if it's not medicine. It doesn't always have to be. It could be anything, just something.
Right, great advice. Makes sense. Yeah, I learned so much about, Muslim cultures and stuff today. Because back then, from my perspective, I just hear about like, people saying, oh, arranged marriage, multiple wives, but I don't really know the deep down, like how it actually operates and like how you guys actually think. That's so interesting.